Okay, so we're gonna create this Western book cover. I got the scene mostly set up. The camera view, got it set off to the side. We can turn on the light here just to get an idea of how it's aligning up. So we're going to kind of want to go like here. We're going to pull back because if we do a full wrap, we're going to want a little bit for the left for the back side of the book. So we got hers kind of centered right here. Alright, looks pretty good. I already got my scene set, my western town. I got atmosphere going in the background. So everything's pretty much set up. So what we're going to do is being a western, and it could even cross over as a romance if you wanted. I'm going to do a render, but then we're going to we're going to paint it so it looks like a painted cover. So I'm going to go into render settings here and see what. So it's scaled up. And then what happens is if it's not a perfect render, when you scale it down for a book's cover size, it'll actually take care of some of the imperfections and any artifacts that show up in the render. So we're going to go back to the camera. We're going to turn off the headlight because we don't want it that bright. Let's turn it off. You can always add a distant light in there and turn the distant light on and off. Either way works. I'll show you. Let's just add a light here. See, it's lit up, and then I could just go in the scene and just turn it off for the render. And as far as for the render, environment, nope, here we go. Alright, so it's just the default sky background here. While it loads, we're doing dome and scene for the environment mode. I don't have any lights set up in it. Yep. Oh no, there we go. We're doing that merchant resource that was given away last year for Renderosity during Christmas, and that's the one with the sky IBL skies with the scattered clouds. All right, so let's. I got it set to render basically forever. It'll stop rendering once I hit stop. You just turn the max time to 0, turn off the rendering quality to off, and max samples to, I think the largest you allowed is 15,000. So we're going to hit render, and then we're going to pause this while it. Alright, the print's done rendering. A pretty large print. Turned out good. Alright, so we're going to. Alright, so we're going to save it to a folder. We're just going to name it Cowgirl. We're going to take all the in the way there. Alright, so we're going to hide everything. We're going to create a group except for her. It's stage group. Background, atmosphere. We're going to leave the gun because I've got that. I just placed it as a separate prop. I didn't even apply it to her. So we're going to create a group. And we're going to hide it all. Alright, so there we go. So let's just go to here. That's right, turn the light on. So we can leave it in this if we want, into camera view. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to create another image, but we're going to put a bunch of weird lights on it. So in our painting, it'll give it a different look. So let's go to our background and let's add a backdrop. Let's give it a color. There we go. Now let's go to my lights here, and I'll find I got some full preset lights. So let's Let's add this one to the scene. Get back in here. So let's see how the lights are on her. Alright. We're going to move this one back, put it on here. Then we're going to take this gel plane and move it back and tilt it, only because of her cowboy hat. We want to get some more light on the face. Alright, there we go. So let's go back into the camera. Oop. Back into the camera, and then let's run it in NVIDIA and see how it, or an iRay, and see how it looks. And the thing about it, I didn't turn off the background. As maybe not an overlay, but maybe like a saturation, or even change the hue. All right, there we go. Yeah, there's some nice colors in there. I'm gonna throw the dome off though. I'm gonna add another. Now let's add a spotlight. Let's aim at her. There we go. Let's back out a little bit. I don't want this light to overpower the gel light. So let's go in the light. The spotlight. Let's change the color. Let's give it a intensity is nowhere near enough, but let's there we go. Alright, these lights, temperatures kinda high. Let's turn it down to about 4,000. We're gonna have to add a few zeros on the end of this to up the lumen. Yeah, we're gonna have to go a darker blue, I think. Switch over to this, come down. There we go, so you can see the blue now. Not quite enough, let's add a couple zeros. Alright, there we go, so let's see what it looks like from the camera view. No, a little bit too impressed. Knock down the intensity. There we go. Yep, got a little bit of her face shining now. Boots. Will be a little bright. Nah, we're gonna knock down the lumens one notch here, and we'll raise the intensity back up to 100. Yep, there we go. Alright, so let's render this out to scene. Camera view, let's turn off the distant light. Alright, there we go. Let's see what color lights we have on these two spotlights. Red's showing up, but not so much the green. Alright, we get the intensity way up. I mean, yeah, you don't really see it in there. Let's up it a little bit. Let's go to 8 here. Alright, so now we can see the green a little bit more. They'll give the paint some dabbles. Okay, so let's render it. Okay, so it's done recording. I'm just going to save this as Cowgirl color. Spell right. Alright, we'll get this saved. Alright, so I have the original image brought up, and then I have our Cowgirl brought in. So let's fix this, adjust this a little bit. Go in here, let's see how the levels look. The nose in, let's bring in the whites. Alright, so there we go. So let's get our Cowgirl level here. Copy it. Let's put it on top here. Now we're going to change it to I would say hue, but now that gave it too much. Let's see what's I like saturation too. So let's find that. Oh, it's right below it. Yeah, there we go. That really gives us that paint look, but this is not the painted version. So what we're going to do is we're going to run one of the paint actions I got from Renderosity. So let's go into actions here. Here we go. So we're gonna do let's do a medium, and let's run it. Even though I'm gonna have to stop it and redo it, should have combined the levels, the layers, and then run this, because all it's gonna do is paint the the layer that I have saturated. Let's let it run its course. As it's done, it was saturated. Okay, so let's flatten this. There we go. All right, now let's paint it up. There we go. So it's looks very good. Looks got some of the paint strokes. See some of the colors still swirled in there just to give it some look, even in the shadows there. All right, let's make it fit the screen here so we can see what the whole thing looks like. Yeah, there we go. It's a very nice, very bright looking cover. So let's save this as an actual image. I'm just going to do a JPEG, and let's just call it painted, and we'll save it. Alright, very good. And then that's pretty much how you create a nice painted image. Now I can take the original image. Let me open that up. And then what we'll do is okay, I'd flattened it and I didn't save it, so it's what's going to happen. All right, so let's close this down, not save it because I don't want to overwrite my original image. All right, so here's the original. Let's open the painted. Now if we go through and let's leave it as is. Let's run the action and paint just the original image and show you what the difference is and just the coloring and the lighting. All right, here we go. All right, so here's the painted. Much more vibrant with that additional saturated level. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not as eye-popping. Then you want eye-popping. There we go. And I mean, I didn't adjust the levels or the curves on here to give it. It was muted just because of the fog that I had, the atmosphere level layer I had back here, just to give it some depth. And it's still here on this one, and well, it just looks much more better. Just all right. So that's it for this video. The next one we'll actually turn this into a book cover.